What's up, Flickpop Nation? Get ready for a rapid-fire news blitz starting right now. First up, President Donald Trump has just announced his intention to designate the anti-fascist movement, Antifa, as a terrorist organization. This move, detailed on his Truth Social platform, comes after Trump described the group as a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster and a major terrorist organization. He's also pushing for thorough investigations into those funding Antifa, signaling a significant escalation in rhetoric and potential policy. Next, we're jetting across the pond for a look at President Donald Trump's recent state visit to the United Kingdom. Photos reveal a series of high-level engagements, including meetings with Britain's King Charles III and other members of the royal family. These images capture key moments of the visit, highlighting the diplomatic ties and ceremonial events during Trump's time in Windsor, England, amidst discussions on international relations. Switching gears, we've got major developments brewing within the White House itself. Reports indicate that the administration is formulating plans to take action against left-wing groups, with potential moves as early as this month. These actions, spurred by the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, are expected to include investigations into the tax-exempt status of certain liberal organizations, a move that has already sparked significant debate and concern. And finally, we're circling back to the controversial announcement regarding Antifa. President Donald Trump has reiterated his plan to designate this decentralized movement as a major terrorist organization, though details on how this designation would be practically applied remain scarce. We'll break down what this means and what critics are saying. Stick around for all the details and make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell on. Trump declares war on Antifa. A major terrorist organization designation looms. President Donald Trump has sent shockwaves through the political landscape with his announcement to designate the anti-fascist movement, Antifa, as a terrorist organization. This bold declaration, made via his Truth Social platform, paints Antifa as a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster and a major terrorist organization. Trump's statement also includes a strong recommendation for investigating the funders of Antifa, promising to do so in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. The move comes in the wake of the assassination of right-wing commentator Charlie Kirk, which senior White House officials have linked to what they describe as a vast domestic terror movement fomented by left-wing activists. While Trump's administration frames this as a necessary response to political violence, critics argue it could be a pretext to target political opponents. Legal scholars have previously raised concerns about the lack of a clear mechanism for designating domestic groups as terrorist organizations and potential First Amendment implications, especially given Antifa's decentralized and amorphous nature. Public reaction has been swift, with supporters of Trump's stance echoing Senator Bill Cassidy's sentiment that Antifa has seized upon a movement of legitimate grievances to promote violence and anarchy. However, many civil liberties advocates and some legal experts remain skeptical, questioning the feasibility and constitutionality of such a designation for a leaderless movement. Don't go anywhere, because the implications of this designation are massive. And wait till you see what happened during President Trump's high-profile visit to the UK. Royal welcome, Trump's state visit to Britain captured in photos. President Donald Trump recently concluded a significant two-day state visit to the United Kingdom, an event aimed at reinforcing the strong transatlantic bond, even amidst global policy differences. A collection of striking photographs chronicles key moments of this diplomatic engagement, showcasing the formal ceremonies and interactions between the U.S. President, First Lady Melania Trump, and Britain's royal family. The visual narrative highlights Trump's reception by King Charles III and Queen Camilla at Windsor Castle for an official state banquet, where discussions likely touched upon international affairs, including the ongoing situations in Ukraine and the Middle East, alongside the future of the Western Alliance. The images also capture moments like the beating retreat ceremony and the review of the Guard of Honor, emphasizing the traditional pageantry associated with state visits. The presence of Prince William and Kate, Princess of Wales, further underscores the high level of engagement. While the official visit focused on diplomatic ties, the accompanying imagery also captured scenes of protest in London, with demonstrators from the Stop Trump coalition voicing their opposition to the state visit. These visual contrasts offer a comprehensive look at the multifaceted nature of the visit, balancing diplomatic efforts with public sentiment. Stay tuned as we delve into the White House's response to political violence that's sending shockwaves through domestic policy. And get ready for a deep dive into the administration's plans to target left-wing groups. White House readies crackdown, action against left-wing groups on the horizon. The Trump administration is reportedly finalizing plans to take significant action against left-wing groups, with potential moves slated for as early as the end of this month. This initiative, directly influenced by the recent assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, signals a broad federal response aimed at dismantling what officials describe as a vast domestic terror network, allegedly fueled by liberal philanthropists. Sources indicate that these planned actions could include investigations into the tax-exempt status of certain liberal organizations, a move that has ignited fierce debate. While an administration official stressed the focus is on criminal actions and not political speech, critics, including progressive philanthropic organizations, have denounced these efforts as attempts to exploit political violence to mischaracterize our good work or restrict our fundamental freedoms. They argue that such actions undermine our democracy and harm all Americans. The administration's strategy, however, is driven by a palpable mix of grief, fear, and anger within the MAGA movement, with allies like Steve Bannon advocating for designating groups like Antifa as terrorist organizations to shut them down. Despite legal scholars pointing out that federal law currently only allows for the designation of foreign groups as terrorist organizations, and concerns about chilling free speech, the administration appears determined to explore all available resources. Vice President J.D. Vance has specifically mentioned looking into the Soros-founded Open Society Foundations and the Ford Foundation, arguing they are subsidized by you and me, the American taxpayer. This story is far from over, with legal and political battles likely ahead. And we're wrapping up with the latest on Trump's controversial Antifa designation. Antifa designation looms. Trump promises action, details scarce. President Donald Trump has publicly stated his intent to designate the decentralized movement known as Antifa as a major terrorist organization. This announcement, made via social media during his state visit to the United Kingdom, labels Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster, and signals a strong push to investigate its funders. However, concrete details on how such a designation would be practically applied to a movement lacking a singular structure or leadership remain unclear, with the White House offering little immediate elaboration. The move follows recent events and rhetoric connecting political violence to left-wing activism. Trump's former FBI director, Christopher Wray, previously testified that Antifa operates more as an ideology than a formal organization, lacking the hierarchical structure typically required for federal terror group designation. Despite these past statements and potential legal hurdles, including questions about applying domestic designations similarly to foreign entities, the administration appears set on pursuing this path. Republican Senator Bill Cassidy has voiced support, stating the president is right to recognize the destructive role of Antifa. Legal experts and civil liberties advocates have expressed concerns about the implications of such a designation, particularly regarding enforcement and potential impacts on free speech, given Antifa's decentralized nature. The administration's focus appears to be on addressing perceived domestic terror threats, though the specifics of this particular designation continue to be a subject of intense scrutiny and debate. That's a wrap on our top stories for today. But stick around for a quick recap and our full call to action. And that's a wrap on today's Essential News Digest. We covered President Donald Trump's plan to designate Antifa as a terrorist organization, the stunning visuals from Trump's state visit to the UK with King Charles III, the White House's brewing plans for action against left-wing groups, and the ongoing details surrounding Trump's controversial Antifa announcement. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to FlickPop for all your breaking news, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and follow us on all social media platforms for more exclusive content.